'Cause I run out of sense of feeling, and this is how you remind me. This is how you remind me of what I really am. This is how you remind me of what I really am. It's not like you. Sorry, I won't bring on a different story. This time I'm mistaken for letting you a heart worth breaking. And I've been wrong, I've been down into the bottom of every bottle. These five words in my head seem all together for yeah, I said I love you and I swear I still do. And it must have been so bad. Living with me must have damn near killed you. And this is how you remind me of what I really am. What's up, guys? Let me get this set up. I'm almost there. I was kind of busy posting. Give me a second. Let the viewers kind of tick up there, and I should probably get to the chat because we're going to talk about some things. So, why is it only music? I was just playing the intro, and just so you guys know, if we play music like that on our videos or anything like that, we don't get any monetization for that. You cannot, they'll basically demonetize your video. So when people say, you know, things are about money or this or that or the whole 9 yards, that's not the case at all. But so recently I did a live video and I was talking in reference, I actually just shared a couple new videos. Yes, they are paid videos, okay? Relax. Not all the videos are going to be paid videos. We're just sharing certain ones that are going to be, you know, paid content. A lot of people get upset, or hey, you know, why do I got to pay $2? Or hey, why do I got to pay 99 cents? Or let's just explain some things. Hey, what's up? A lot of researchers take a lot of time seriously away from their family. They take they go on trips, and they go places, they spend a lot of money, they buy gear, they do the whole 9 yards. And people need to understand that. So when we do catch a piece of footage or something interesting, or we're doing an experiment that took us a long time, you know, hours and hours and hours in the woods. Hold on. Come here, Coco. Come here, buddy. Sorry, my son's actually in the yard here. Just go that way. Come here, buddy. Sorry about that, guys. Let me find out where I was. Hey! Come here. Hey, come on. Dogs are stubborn. Go. Go. There's like 3 of them here. Come on. Come here. Want to see my one dog? Here. There's Jack. Let me put him in the house. Coco, come on. Get in there. Sorry. Oh, where was I? Okay, so all of us researchers, we're away from our family hours on end. We go to different states. We go see other researchers, you know, and everybody's like, well, I do that. I spend money on my cameras and my gas. And you know what? 50-70% of the people are like retired. And maybe they use their 401k, or maybe they use whatever to buy equipment or whatever they use in the field. And, you know, it's an expensive, let's say, hobby. So sometimes, let me get to the point. Sorry, I seen the kids. You said, what breed are they? Can you be more specific? I was getting off track here. Hang on. Hey, get out front. No, you're not. Out front. Sorry about that. I had to put him in his place. So it's upsetting. I didn't want to take my whole channel to a paid channel. All right. I'm not trying to do that. It's not about money. That's not the whole situation. I don't know. It's just hang on. I don't know why he's barking in the house, but it does alleviate costs. It does help. I mean, let's put this in perspective. When you drive to the woods 3-4 times a week, let's say, and you're spending $20, that's $80 a week just in gas to go do that, let alone going the distance or wherever you're going to, other states or cameras or whatever it may be, and then time on the computer. A lot of other people, you know what they do? They go to Patreon, and they figure, okay, well, this is how they lure you in. You're like my base of people, my clientele, or I'm going to share secret things with you and nobody else, so you can pay us on Patreon. So they feel that that's the right way to do things. No, I told you, because I'm busy right now. So take all your friends and go that way. Every other day you're out here, so today's my day. God, sorry. I got dogs and kids. You see what I'm saying? You see when people, real life situations, this is exactly, I'm glad this happened, because it's real life situations that you have to deal with. And that's what we deal with in the field. Sorry. Let me see what you guys were saying. It's not like golf. Paid channel, Bigfoot research is not going to hurt you, bro. I'm glad you said that, because I'm not a mean dad, okay? Every day they have their bikes and he's got his friends over here, and this is my peaceful time. This is my time to just do what I need to do. You know, I was in the woods all day and I'm just here now. So it would be nice if once in a while they would just go play somebody else's house. But anyway, no, it's not about hurting me. It's about people not understanding. Like, why do I have to pay 99 cents to watch a clip? Or, like I said, I'm not going to do them all paid, just certain ones, just to alleviate costs and do things. I'm not about the Patreon. I'm not about you giving me money so I can share some secret information with you. You know, I'd rather do that in an email. I'd rather talk one-on-one with you, and kind of go from there. You know what I'm saying? It's all about just being real. There is a new piece of footage that we caught that is kind of interesting. It looks like a baby Bigfoot in a tree, and I'll give you the gist of it. Now I got bees. My dog's gonna eat them. He just ate them. This is real life. Jax, he's gonna sting you. Get out of there. I couldn't make this shit up. I couldn't. I could not make. He's trying to eat the bee. Hey, he got him. You're gonna get stung. This is what I should have this on YouTube instead of Bigfoot. Hey, he got him. That's crazy. Big bee, big bumblebee like that. Oh my God. There is no peace for a dad. I swear to God. Like, the real life stuff you try to do, it always have conflicts. I wish I had a little room for myself to just lock the door and do, like, well, if you want to call my channel the show or whatever, just so I wasn't bothered by anybody. And I don't know. I did miss the Ohio conference this year. I had to have some dental work done, which was upsetting because I really wanted it to be there. I had to have some teeth actually extracted. I had a tooth infection, and it was just rough. So I know Daniel and a bunch of other guys were down there. I really wanted to get there, and it sucked. So either way, it is what it is. But this baby Bigfoot footage, so it's on a private property location, roughly 300 and I think the guy said he's got 370 acres. And we ran into the guy. I spoke before. There's like a dairy farm and then another farm right next to each other. But the houses are like a half a mile down the road, and they didn't really speak to each other too much. One guy had I think it was a horse farm. And we started there, and then the other guy's got the other farm. They actually were encountering Bigfoot things were going on each property, and they didn't talk to each other about it, so they had no idea until we ran into both of them. But anyway, we had the cameras up at the location. I just pulled them down and brought them in. Actually, here is one of the cards right here. See the high-tech cards we use? We don't use standard cards. I don't anyway. This card right here is $65 for that card to get higher quality footage. This is a 64 gigabyte. And I've got about 25 of them just in cards. So it's expensive. But anyway, so I picked up the one camera. There was like, I don't know. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I had 6 out, but there was one in a location that nobody really knew about. And that's the one I went and got today. I was trying to keep it kind of uncontaminated. So this is the footage that I ended up catching, and it looks like there's like really no wind. Well, there's like 4 clips, okay? I only shared the one main clip, but there's 4 clips, and something happens where the camera, like the tree gets broke, and then there's this thing on the camera, and there's the white glow, and it's kind of like push down, push down, push down, and then it's kind of like foggy and hazy for like 3, because they're video clips. I didn't do photos, they're videos. And then that following morning, I think it was 7 a.m. on the card. And what had happened was, I'm looking and I'm not seeing, you know, when it's recording, I don't see any real leaves moving. I don't see anything like that going on. So I'm trying to look off to the left in a distance, maybe 35 yards, 40 yards maximum. There's this thing it looks like it's in the tree. I can't fully tell. I'm going to clean it up a lot more too. And what I did is I looped it. So I looped it 3 times so you can see it, because it's 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. And there you can see it looks like the arm is going like this, really, really fast, really like this. And you could see, and I was like, whoa. So I kind of like zoomed in. None of the other branches, none of the leaves are really moving. And this is a rapid movement. Like if I was standing there and holding the tree, doing this, and it was like, whoa, you know what I mean? And you can see it's interesting. Let me look at some of your stuff here. Keep on squatching. Of course, dude, of course, I'm gonna. When I see that you are charging not $299, $2.99 or 99 cents for a new one. Okay, let me see what else. We were planning going back to a house. I might go in 18, 17. This past year was the year to be there, though, man. Make a man cave. Then you know what? This deck, I almost thought about removing everything, because the base is to code, and adding this as a room for myself out here. That's actually a good idea. Now I have a question. Okay, so I just see this live chat and Roland, and it says $20. What is that? Does anybody know? Because I have no clue. It's weird. Is that like a donation, or because I'm confused? I've had that happen a few different times, but I just never knew what it was, because they don't tell us here. But it obviously must be something. Anyway, yeah, I'm not gonna charge for all these videos. It's just once in a while. Yeah, I get off that. But anyway, so what was really cool is when I went in today to get the camera. Okay, I had gone in, and the first couple things I seen some really big prints. I did take actually, let me show you. I probably have a photo of it right here because I took photo of one I had on my phone. Let's see, and hopefully you guys will just be able to see it by me sharing it. Hopefully you guys see that? I'm a 13, so you're looking at like a 16, 17. And here's the interesting part. You can see the mid-tarsal break and or flexation, whatever you want to call it, in the middle. You can see where the toes kind of impressed into the ground. Oh, sorry, I wasn't even reading. I'm walking out the Redwood Grove as we chat. Awesome. Dude, Brown Dwarf, hope you catch something, man. Appreciate it, Roland. I really thank you. Yeah, so I hope you guys were able to see that print. I put mine next to it. So it was a lot of our locations, we're not finding the prints. And I'm like, we're trying to figure out where they're going, what's going on. So when you start to find prints as you get in to the woods, I was like, this is interesting because the way they're moving. And I said, it's crazy because these prints are here. I said, I wonder if I caught something on camera. So when I walked over there, I was able, 40 yards from where they had crossed, I'm wondering if this was one of them that I caught on camera, which was really interesting. I took a couple photos. There's one by itself, but at least I got to share that with you. Let me see. It says, send a super chat. Color me jealous. XP wish North Pacific code. Anytime you want to come down, look, I'm open for people. We like to bring people out. I don't always show it. I've taken people out. Our team has 4 or 5 members, but we take people out. I've taken family members. I've taken cousins, friends. Other people have come down. It's an experience. I don't know it all. There's no way I could know it all. It's just things that we learn in the field, things that I've learned, things that like Daniel or this one or that one, everybody across the board has kind of put together, and everybody else has their own way of doing things, or sharing or explaining. And when I find something like certain tree structures, we actually found this new tree structure that I'm on that topic. We hunt on a certain plot of land, and one of our first tree structures we found was on that property. This year, after 4 years, it's gone. So I was kind of intrigued, so we started moving and going. Actually, it'd be east, and down the road, right near the road, is this really huge structure. And I know the people that are next door, and I'm actually going to be going out and speaking with him and trying to get a camera on that situation. I'm not under the impression that these are dumb gorillas. In the beginning, I was, but after quite a few years now, there's something else going on. The other video that I shared was $2.99. That is phase 2 to our experiment video. So our experiment video was where we used, just one set of magnets. This time we used more magnets, and we went to separate locations. And some of the video is edited to share with you things that we've seen in the video. Some of the stuff, we always miss things. So if our viewers get to see things in the video and they're like, hey, this is what it is. But that whole situation, takes like 4 hours to do everything that you need to do. And when you're in the woods for a long time, I tell you, I don't know, it's fun, but I just wish people would really understand and not give such a backlash for saying, hey, here's a paid video, and then they throw a fit. But howdy, how you doing? Nice print, thanks. On the eastern seaboard of Massachusetts. Hey, I'm in New York. I'm in Western New York. Um, People vacation down here, and then what happens is, you know, they'll be here for something. You know, a lot of people like to come down here to Lilydale. I don't know if anybody's into psychics, but I live 15 minutes from the biggest spiritual capital in the U.S. So people come down here, they go book an appointment at Lilydale. It's on the lake. It's really nice. Chautauqua Lake is right by here. Beautiful, beautiful. I mean, $1 million houses. It's crazy over there. You know, and then people will be like, hey, you know, I'm in the area, you know, for a day or two. Can you take me out, or can we meet up and talk? And yeah, sure. I don't have no problem with that. I actually like getting out because I don't know, about 2 months ago, myself, Dan, and John, we had gone up to a location and we ran into a neighbor. There was a guy that actually knew a researcher of ours, Dan, and he happened to pull in a parking lot, was late getting out of work, said, I live right around the corner, but I need a beer. So he stopped and he was sitting there having a beer. And so we got to like bullshitting and talking. And we started talking about Bigfoot, because that's one of the hardest things to do, is actually bring up and be like, you know, hey, do you know about Bigfoot? Or that's what we're doing, or that's what we're talking about. And anyway, so he's like, oh yeah, you know, you start talking about the woods. He's a hunter. So I start, you know, talking to him about hunting and everything else. So he goes to me, I did have this one crazy encounter though. And my ears were like, and I'm like, well, what happened? He's like, I live across the Bard Road over there. And I was like, oh, really? You know? And he's like, the one morning I came out, all my bird feeders were ripped down, and I had the garbage like taken out of the back of my truck. And like he said, I guess when he came out the house, he had seen like something going into the woods with the garbage or something. He said it didn't leave a trail of garbage. It didn't rip the bags open, kind of like a bear would. He's like, so that's the only thing I've really had. The craziest thing is when we have another research area that's up around the backside, the top of the hill, and there's one house that's kind of down the road. And this is when actually Tom Biscardi had come out here, and he went to that residence. Okay, I've waved to the people, I've seen the people, I've known the people. He went there, and while he was there, a few people showed up to that residence. I don't know if they were having a party, a get-together, what the whole situation was. And so I go inside, and they're all talking, and the one gentleman speaks up that's next to me, and he's like, yeah, actually, like 8 years ago, a friend of mine and myself seen one. And I was like, where? And I immediately, like, I cut off Biscardi, I cut off everybody that was sitting there talking, because I consider that a part of my area. You know, that's mine. And I asked him, I said, where? What are you talking about? I need a description. I need to know the situation. And he proceeded to tell me about 2 in the morning, they were coming up from the bar. And it's not a heavily traveled road, but it's a back road, you know, to get to, they're country boys. That's what it is. When you're a country boy, you know, they go to the bar and they head home, and bonfires or whatever. He said, we were coming across the road, and he said, we seen this little one. That sparked my interest, because some of the ones I seen were little, you know, little as in 5-6 foot, in that range. And he said it come down the hill and shot across the road. And he said we could see the strides, you know, as it 1, 2, 3. But here's the funny part, where he explained that it went across the road. There's a huge, you could say culvert, but it goes way down to a creek. I mean, it's something where you or I would probably have to attempt to have a rope and maybe rappel, you know, because it's a very steep angle on the right side of this road. And it was interesting that he had this whole encounter that I didn't even know about, you know. So little by little, the people on this road, this same road, the guy with the garbage can, the guy that seen it, another lady that was coming up the road, this road seems to be a common denominator where they're crossing. So this is why we've tried to spend some time and try to figure things out. But let's see. What you up to, Wes? I had breakfast at Lee's before diving. Nice. Sweet. So I don't know. I haven't had time to really pay attention to the Bigfoot world or what's going on or what's not going on. We kind of been just reserved back to, you know, focusing on our situation. I think I'm starting to find areas where they're at, especially catching this footage. Dan may know where this area is. I think I did take him there. Um, you know, even though we're researching, I still keep some things to myself because it's taken me a long time to do this. It has definitely not been easy to do. And since they put the windmills in the new video, one of the new videos that I shared, I did get a clip of the logging that they're doing in either direction. Um, they're tearing some big area up, a couple miles, and it's kind of forced them to move around. And I can't really. A lot of times in the summer, they'll hang in the valleys because it's cooler. Common sense. If you've got all this fur on, or whatever, hair, whatever you want to call it, you're going to want to be where it's cooler, at least during the day if it's in the 80s or 90s. Okay, so that's where they hang. But the problem is when they logged, they kind of logged right down through near the valley, and the squatches were coming across this valley into these huge tracts of woods, and they're going right up to it. So I think they kind of pushed them down into an area that I haven't checked yet. There is a cornfield that goes down to a rolling hill, about a half mile off the road, and it would be an ideal location that for them to kind of set up in. So I was going to have Dan and a couple other guys. We're going to get down there maybe this week sometime and check it out, or this weekend, because once you can find that core area that they're just hanging out in, guys, you're going to have substantial evidence that comes out of there. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, you know, when they're new to this, when I was new to this, I went berserk. Really, I went crazy. I was like, you know, look at this. Oh my God, look at that. Look at this. And I really wanted to share everything. I wanted to get it out there. I wanted to be like, you know, because it was real. Do you understand? It is real. And people just didn't understand that. And you'll catch a lot of backlash for that, but just keep doing what you're doing. I'm hoping to get really deep off into the woods into a few locations where I believe they are. So hopefully I'll have some really good new videos for you. Like I said, I'm sorry that some are paid. Just bear with us. Not all of them are going to be paid. You guys are still going to see everything that you want to see. I'm still going to do live things. Just some of the paid ones are to offset a lot of the costs. That's all it is. Let's see. Up at our seasonal site in the White Mountains National Forest, I hear vocals quite a bit. I have seen black bear, and no way does a squatch look like a bear. Yeah, a lot of people will try to. It's like a misnomer. They'll try to play that, you know, it's psychological, or it's pareidolia, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? But it's not. And a lot of people, we get a lot of people, you know, talking about it. We got a lot of reports as of recently. A lot of people in the Bigfoot world, we're at a stalemate right now. Okay, I don't know what they are. What I've seen looks flesh and blood, but what it does look like is so vivid that it looks like a 3D hologram, because it was so vivid. It's like imprinted in my mind of some of, actually one, two, I've seen them seven times now over the last 5 years. Seven, I think it was seven or eight. I got it written down, but they look really vivid. They look there. It's like imprinted in my mind. I don't know how to explain it. And then we're catching these energy things, and things happen. And oh, by the way, we did catch some other things in this new experiment video that I did charge $2.99 for, just because of the things that we were doing in the time and so on and so forth. But so people are on the fence about, is it flesh and blood, or is it paranormal? Or there's a bigger picture. There's a bigger picture that people aren't looking at. which I'm going to delve into pretty soon. And I'm going to try to explain some things and talk about things in general. Today was just kind of like a little talk, and I didn't want to share too much in reference to what I've been thinking about doing. But I think looking into these tree structures means more than the Bigfoot just following them. Because I said before, let's face it, if we're in the woods, humans don't follow tree structures. Deer, bear, I don't know any other animal, mammal that builds a structure because they need to follow it through the woods. Even gorillas, you know, in Africa, wherever, South America, wherever it is, they don't build structures to follow them through the woods. And everybody's stuck on this situation, but there's more to this. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I've been trying things and learning things. When you try crazy, even if it's small experiments that I'm trying to push people to do, DDoS was explaining that he's going to be trying to do something in the future here. Not that I want to look at the paranormal or this whole factor, but to indulge it and actually get some results from it. What does that mean? Because I have no idea. Do you guys have any idea? Because I don't. My dog is so crazy. He's the young one. He's only like 2 or 3. But yeah, we've gotten some prints. The one print today that I just had on camera, I didn't have any casting material. I should have went back. I was by myself. I should have went back and casted it. And if it doesn't rain, I might go back and cast it. And people say, well, why do you cast it? Because I want it for my own archive, for things that I've done, for things that I've been through, log them in, places I found them. And I try to tie these areas together. So, example, my new researcher, Danny, came on this year, regular local guy. He had experiences in his life about, seeing Bigfoot, his kid, certain things. And he had a lot of questions. I had some answers for him just based on what I was able to observe and go through. And some things started to make sense to him, and I started showing him things. And one of the biggest things I want you guys to do is if if you're having a lot of reports of Sasquatch activity, okay, in a given county, let's just narrow it down to a county for right now. You need to use Google Earth. It is one of your greatest assets in attempts to find Bigfoot. And I'm going to explain this to you. I don't explain this to many people, but I'm going to explain it to you. Dan said, let's go now. 6:30. I mean, maybe we could. Maybe. Let's see. So what I want you to do is, let's say you have a Bigfoot sighting here and a Bigfoot sighting here. Okay? And that distance is, I don't know, 10 miles. Let's say 10 miles away. I want to figure out, this is what I do. I want to figure out how this Bigfoot could get here, if it's the same one, okay? So what I do is, then you got all this space in between here. So now I go to the map and I look at Google Earth. Boom. Actually, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's see. Let's just do this. Let's see if I can pull up Google Earth, and then I'll do a screen share and I'll walk you guys through it. How's that? That might be the best situation. Let me type this in. Okay. Take me there. Calgon, take me away. Okay, I don't want to sign in, so let's not do that. Back to Google Earth. Let's just go to the area. Okay. Now, I'm going to stop it right there. I'm going to do a screen share right now. All right, hopefully you guys are seeing this. It takes a second or two, but okay. So let's see. I'm going to look at an area. This is all Arkwright, Cherry Creek. Okay, so where am I? All right, I'm going to use this for an example. Okay, so in here, if there's some sightings, let's say there's a sighting here and a sighting here, and then there's like a sighting here. Okay, so let me zoom this in out a little bit. So if we got let's just use the pictures, a sighting, and one over here. So how could these Sasquatch get here? Okay, I have to look for travel routes and avenues. 99% of the time, they're not going to cross a field. They're not going to stay in the open, okay? So I have to break this down. So let's say this Bigfoot here is going to travel. See, this right here is where I had one of my encounters with a 10-foot male, right there. And he was walking this way. That gave me the insight and the knowledge to pay attention to their travel routes. So I said, okay, if he's going down in here, where's he going? If he's going to cross this road, there's only a few places he's going to do it. See all these fields? I highly doubt he's going to walk through that. He's probably going to come down and hit this section. You see how it goes woods to woods? That's one of your best sections for a crossing. Then as he comes in, he can come up and he can do a few things. He can either head this way into, see how that's woods to woods? There's a road right there. You can't even see the road. That's how dense it is. He can come across here, and it's kind of like a highway. These are pinch points, okay? He can come through here. Well, I wasn't getting any reports over here, and I know this farmer right here, and he's never had any footprints, any sightings, anything over the last, like, I don't know, 70 years. His father's 95 and still a farmer. So I said, well, they're not coming this direction, okay? This is how I narrowed things down. And I said, what other way, you know, can they come across here? So I started looking. If he's coming across, this is a straight shot. You see this? So I was like, wow, this is interesting. You see this patch of woods right here? I said, wow, it doesn't matter that there's a house here. It doesn't matter that there's a house here. They can get from woods to woods really quickly. They're not going to walk through this field. They're not going to walk through this field. They're going to take these pinch point travel routes to get from A to B. So then I was like, you know, it started to make sense. So as we drove the roads and started finding things over the last few years, you know, it really made sense. So then if they get into here, they can cross on this right here, and look at the tracts of land that they can get into. It's unreal. It is really unreal. This is the section, I'm not going to say where, I'm just going to say this is the section that I had the encounter with the disappearing, yeah, I don't even like talk about that, but whatever. Down, let me see, in here is the area where we found a new structure. Oh no, I'm wrong, I lied. Wait, one road, two, yeah, that is it, down in here. I'm not going to give away the new locations of where I've found them or where they're moving to. But these are just little key things that I wanted you to point out. Follow these fingers. We call them fingers. As a hunter, that's a finger. That's where the, you know, even deer sometimes funnel in because it's woods to woods, you know, or woods to woods. It's very seldom do you see them crossing fields. If you do, it's in the mid states, you know, the grain belt out there, Oklahoma, those type of states, because it's so vast. That you know, it's bottomlands. They have to cross fields, but you can see, you know, the way our terrain is laid out. It gets vast. I don't know. I can look at the. I have to come out of here, I think, for a second to even look at the chat. But I'll close this, and then if there's something you want to talk about or something I missed, I will go back into it if I need to. Let's see here. Let me scroll back up, guys. Where are we at? What is the best evidence you have on Bigfoot? You mean circumstantial? So I have video, and it was shared in a DVD. It's on Amazon. I've seen Bigfoot. You can rent that. And what had happened is, a lot of people know this story. I went out and I was setting up a game camera. Went by myself. I usually don't do that, but I put the camera down against the tree, and I took the backpack off. As I took the backpack off, I turned around and I was getting things out of it, grabbed the game cam, walked backwards like 10 feet. As I'm setting up this game camera, I look to my right and I actually see what I think is a female. From what I can see from here up. And I see it watching me. So I start yelling to the camera. As I'm yelling to the camera, telling the camera that I see a squatch over here, I'm trying to get the game camera. So I'm like fucking fumbling. I'm trying to get this thing on here. I'm like, power. You know, I'm trying to get a picture. That doesn't happen. So I'm distraught. What had happened, though, I get back to the camera. I walk back up to the camera. I pick the camera up and I start telling everybody, you know, I think it's Sasquatch footage by Ryan Reading. It was way back down on my channel here. And there's a few breakdowns of it, but a friend caught it. So I'm walking down the side of the mountain there, and I'm telling people, you know, all the cameras, I'm distraught. I'm trying to explain what had happened, the way it looked, all that. I get home, upload the video, and a friend finds in the background, he's like, dude, you had that camera sitting on the ground, something's back there. So we zoomed it in, and what happens is you can see this big, it looks like a male squatch. He's doing something, and it looks to the side over here on the side. It looks like there's a juvenile or two, because you could see him come across the ground on all fours, and it looks like one touches its mouth like this. Anyway, this giant male, as I was putting this camera up, you can see his arm, how do I say it, flail. His arm flails out a couple times, like 4 or 5 times, and then it just stands up. And when he stands up, you could see his whole body just, and he's watching me. I had no idea he was there, no clue. But this is where I don't get the point where people say they attack people, because as I walked back to pick up that camera that was on the ground, he turns, and when he turns, you could see his whole back, and his whole back from the sun looks like translucent white. It looks like it turned his cinnamon color fur to a white. He turned, and you could see him go away at a rapid pace and then hit all fours, and he goes down on all fours. That's one of the best video clips that I have. That's, you know, on the channel. That's also in the I've Seen Bigfoot documentary, where they caught back up with me, and he did another segment. They did a breakdown and kind of share it in the whole DVD. Good DVD, good people. Bob Gimlin, Steve Culls. There's a couple other researchers in there. It was just a good thing. But I'm just trying to go through here. Let's see. Sorry about the birds. Howie, you could be right, but I think it's more than that. Are you talking about the structures? I believe that. I think I want to start looking at the structures in terms of electrical circuits. The way they're built and weaved, and the ground being the earth being a ground, they're built certain ways, almost like an electrical circuit would be. You have to complete the cycle. And they're built these ways for certain reasons, and the energy around them with the EMF detector is usually will spike, or if you use magnetics, things will happen. We were using some magnets. I'll tell you this. Near that tree structure, you know, when you watch Ghost Adventures and they go, oh, we got a spike, a 5.8, a 9.2. We were hitting like 150 overload, 178 on the EMF detector. Those spikes are unreal, unheard of. I mean, we had the magnets and we had our thing, and we were testing it, and when you get those spikes, you can feel the energy in the area. So there's a reason. I don't know if it's ley lines, I don't know the situation, but there's something more we're missing with the structures. Let me see. A lot of people think they're communication. Heather says that. Funnels like deer hunting. Exactly. Let's see. Green always said, watch the waterways. They do follow the waterways because I caught, in 2015, one of my researchers, John, I dropped him off at a location. He took the camera. He was going through the woods. He takes a picture, and he gets a black one that is kind of sitting down and a gray one behind it that's standing there. And you can, in one of the other videos I zoomed in, you could see the eyeball on it. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. That area I just showed you where that crossing was, last year I had a camera up there, and in October, was it October? Yeah, I had caught that same two that we had caught a month prior, walking from the hill section down through those woods. That's how I found that corridor that they were crossing, and I caught them on camera coming across. Where the one, it's only photos though, where the one looks, and then there's a gray one by the tree. It was the same pair that we had caught probably 3 miles the other direction. So funnels are key. If you can get their funnel locations, because they're going to continue to use them. This is the most valuable information anybody will give you. The funnel locations are byways, and what happens is it's repetition. They will continue to use these byways over and over and over. They feel safe. They've continued to use them undetected for years and years. It's just a comfort thing where they can go undetected, and they continue to use them. So as long as you don't intrude way too much, you'll get some good evidence. And if it happens to be by water, that's good. A lot of times, since they're so tall, if you've got a ravine and they can walk in the bottom and it's dry, it's like an old creek bed, that's what I look for. The older creek beds, not the flowing creek beds. Maybe a little bit of water, but I look for drier beds where they can walk, and maybe the hill's 10 foot and they're 8 or 10 foot, and their head maybe just sticks above so they can kind of see. Because what happens is, like a deer, they don't want to be skylined. There's only certain times of the day where the deer move up and downhill based on the sun movement usually, and a big buck doesn't want to be skylined because it gives his position away. And that's kind of what happens with Bigfoot. Let's see. Check out Wildways on PB. I'll have to do that. The government is connecting the national parks. There's more than we know of. I will check that out. Howie, thank you. Walk. Found it out. Thanks. The Miller Doctrine. Yeah, we talked about that before. You use EMF detectors. Yeah, I watched GA. I do use EMF detectors because like I said, being a researcher, how do I say this? A scientist goes into a lab. They don't have a preconceived notion. They test whatever it is and they say, oh, shit. Well, that's what we got. If it's outside of the realm where the public needs to know anything, they say, oh, well, we got this. We didn't get this. But anyway, the scientist doesn't go in with the preconceived notion. So if I go in and say they're flesh and blood and that's what it is, I won't even look at any energy, paranormal. I'm not doing myself any justice. I'm not doing Bigfoot research any justice. I have to keep an open mind. I have to say, well, whatever the hell happens is what happens. And I have to record and document that and share that with everybody. The biggest problem, unless we have a Bigfoot that, how do I say this, that completely disappears, physical form, metaphysical form, that is your only proof. You can have something cloaking. I mean, Barb Shoop had something where it was invisible, but we never seen the formal or the prior form. You didn't get to see the physical state of it. If you could see the physical state of it, then the metaphysical state of it, you'd be better off, right? So that's one of the hardest things to prove is that. But anyway, I have to look at everything, and some of the sounds and some of the language that we've caught, I got on my SoundCloud, Ryan Reading on SoundCloud. You can listen to that. There's some language in there that has been reviewed. I sent that off to Ron Moorhead. I believe he sent it to Scott Nelson. And I've shared it with a couple other people. I don't like to name drop, but I'm just trying to tell you guys what I've done. And another gentleman was an Army linguistic from down south, and he listened to it. And a lot of people, like I try to teach them, they look for morphemes and phenoms in audio, and that is what is indicative of language. And once you start getting that, it's crazy, because you'll be in the middle of nowhere. I got this one section called the green room, and in July it was unreal, and I'll be there again this July because them recorders will be rolling. And I hope to catch some more language. And what I'm trying to see is if it's this OCD or repetitiveness where they, how do I say this? So here's the whole area, and then I would find them here a certain month, here a certain month, here a certain month, and here, like, they would move, they would rotate positions. It's really odd. So it may be 6,000 acres, but they continually move throughout this 6,000 acres. So what I'm trying to do is find this repetition. So I don't want to give the dates away because then you can compromise things. But in July, I'll say, there's 1 week that I will be there every single day. It may be all day. I don't even know. I may bring the FLIR and try to do some things at night, but I don't want to pressure it because I know how good it was last year and what kind of activity I got. So as long as the wind turbines do not affect this area, I suspect that they should come back through. And another big thing is trying to figure out, why are they coming back through? Why are they coming back through to this area? Why are they, you know what I mean? Why do they keep doing this repetitive? There's so many theories. I've got the paranoid theory out there. There's other theories by multiple people. I mean, every researcher has their own theory, and it's based on experience. So we should really call it the experience theory. One of the biggest flaws is nobody really wants to come together. Like I said, my dream was not my dream, but my goal. I wanted to get on a weekly podcast. I wanted to have some of your biggest researchers out there that are flesh and blood and paranormal, and once a week, because we all go in the woods. So let's say we go in the woods all week. At the end of the week, a Saturday, we all sit at a table, boom, we do our podcast, and we all share what we found in a 3-hour or whatever video and talk about our likes and dislikes and our ideas and start to form opinions and truths and you know, weed it all apart. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. So do all tree structures have high EMF? No, Susan. I found that out. Certain areas, I don't know, for whatever reason, which has to do, it has to be something with the earth. See, there is what you don't know is right now, if you go like this, there's an energy field. This is common sense. This is the Higgs field, Higgs boson. There's energy everywhere that you just can't see it. It's there. But certain areas, it's higher. There's that residual, that higher, maybe frequency. I don't know, but it's an energy. And I'm trying to find out if they're building structures by these high energy areas, or if the structure itself is making the area, you know, higher energy. But like, we went to one structure and we were hitting overload, 190s, 170s on the EMF detector. 170. That's high. That's a lot of EMF to overload a EMF detector. But the other one, I think we only hit like 100. But most of the time it was around 60. So there's different fluctuations, and I'm trying to figure out why. It's going to take time, but I have to figure out why, because let's face it, they're not building these things to walk through the woods to be like, oh, Bob, take that one and go that one. This being, this Squatch, this whatever you want to call it, is smarter than we think. And if you're going to sit there and tell me that they need to follow structures to get through the woods, I'm not even entertaining that. I'm not listening to that. In the beginning, I thought that was a good theory. Then I sat and thought, no way. Let's see. Yes, the squiggle lights were weird. I'll talk about that in a second. Nomads use safe routes. Right, season to season. That's what it is. Listen to a podcast and click the link in comments. I am the guest. The link in the next electromagnetic. Right, there's, oh my God, you should see some of the stuff people message me. It's unreal. But they do, some people are on track. Some people are following this energy base, this energy form, because there's so much that you don't know that I don't know. if you look at it from a perspective as growing up, we were taught an atom is the basis of everything. There was no talk ever about a smaller particle. So now they're saying, well, there's a quark. What the hell is a quark? A quark is smaller than an atom. Okay, and then you have this God particle that they discovered because they're smashing particles together trying to recreate the Big Bang. Are they really doing it for that, or what's the situation? But as you can see, even science is moving in a direction that is, let's say, unreal. Just because we don't know about it and science can't explain it doesn't mean it's not real. But that's the problem with a lot of people these days. They want to hold on to the scientific method and the science. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm cool with that. I'll try to do it myself, apply certain things and repeatability factors and test things. And but when it falls outside the range of what they want to hear or what the evidence shows, like if we talk about Dr. Johnson, where he shared his stuff and didn't really have the credible stuff to back it up. Well, when we did our experiments and we had certain things that flying out of the ground and looked like these orb balls and craziness, it backs it up. So but you have to test repeatability, and I will tell you it is repeatable. I'm going to tell you that right now. In my location, it is repeatable. I have another researcher or two that is willing to try it in different areas. But my next step will be to take one set of magnets at one tree structure simultaneously at another tree structure, if they're close enough, and see what happens. I've also applied a ground to the situation where I use copper wire on the magnets. And when you ground out, sometimes it does change the EMF. So that to me shows that magnets are on a tree off the ground, but when you put the ground in, it changes the fluctuation of the EMF. So there's a lot going on. But like I said, the structures, I really tried to start paying attention. To me, it was like they're an electrical circuit because trees have energy, salt, water, best conductor is water, basically, besides like copper. So when they build these forms in these structures, the way they're entangled, to me, it clicked in my head. It looked like an electric circuit. If you got a ground, which is the earth, could these certain branches, hold enough energy to create, let's say, a vortex, a powerful situation? It's deep thinking. It's, oh my God, I get exhausted trying to think about this stuff, but it is what it is. We just keep trying. I don't want anybody to be upset, like I said, about the paid videos. They're not all going to be paid. It is what it is. We're sharing some things. We appreciate everything that you guys do give us, and we keep researching, and we're not going to stop. We're going to keep doing this. I don't care if it's 20 years from now, but I feel that we're getting closer than many others, and many others have followed our style. Not that I care, because I don't, because I want us to find this. But I feel that we are the forefront here, opening people's minds, giving them something else to look at, to say, hey, well, they critically thought about that. Well, that kind of makes sense. So now I need to start thinking, I got to get out of my ways and, start expanding. You see a lot of people talking about the paranormal right now, which is good. It is good because we don't even know what it is. I told you, I've had my encounters with Bigfoot. I've had many, actually 7 almost, 7 or 8. I got it written down in the house. And people ask me, well, what did they look like? I was always under the impression that all the ones up here in New York were black, because some of the first ones I seen were jet black, okay? Until I caught the one on video that looked cinnamon, and then the whitish gray, and then I was just blown away, because in the beginning you think you know it all. Like, once you see them, how do I say this? it changes you. It will change and shift your whole mind thinking. That is not supposed to be there. A Bigfoot is not supposed to exist alongside humans. There's not supposed to be an upright walking in the woods. It's not supposed to be there. People like me are inquisitive and want the truth and want answers and want to know what it is. So we dig deeper and we dig and dig and dig and we delve into certain situations where we can maybe find an answer. And that's kind of where we're at, you know. And each year it expands and we get more and more information. But I feel that over the last few years, we've propelled ourselves way over here, enough so that people are paying attention. People are looking and wanting to know and starting their own research and taking some of the ideas we give them. And, you know, certain scientists can come on and say, hey, you know, we were talking with DDoS on BDRP, Bigfoot Dogman Research. And he's got a guy that's like a science-based person, or was a scientist or whatever it was, and he has really good information. There's things that we talk about off camera that are super interesting. So we'll see where that goes. Let's see. What are you guys saying here? He doesn't have any. He doesn't have any what? Keep squatching. Sure will, Roland. Hold my beer. That's a good one. Ryan, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. What? Wandering Explorer. I just recently watched the, well, I caught part of the 40 and slip. Them guys are a riot. I love it. To me, that is 100% pure entertainment. It's great. You guys should check them out if you haven't. I mean, most of you probably have. Cali, check out Cali, Forest Beings. Colorado Bigfoot, you all know. Utah Sasquatch. Sasquatch Omega, he's a friend. There's a lot of people doing research. A lot of people keep it quiet, but this is where I'm at with the situation. This is the new platform. This is the new America. YouTube, Facebook. Everybody wants to share everything. So why not? Why not? You know, that's another reason we lagged so far behind. Oh, there was a sighting in 1800, or the Vikings had a sighting, you know, whatever. They couldn't do what I'm doing. You know, by the time that information got back to England or got to whoever or wherever, what was it, 6 months? So there was such a lack in communication. This communication here that we do on a basis, that should be wanted. That should be a necessity. You know, it's changed everything. And people say, well, real researchers don't share. Trust me, they do. But some people just get caught up in certain aspects. So that's why sometimes it seems boring. You know, a lot of people are all about tree structures. A lot of people are all about footprints. To many viewers, it seems boring. I'm trying to incorporate everything. I'm trying to follow this whole curve to see where it's going, see what it's doing, imply certain techniques and craziness, but we'll get there. All right, guys, I don't see anybody saying too much. I just wanted to talk, you know, in a way, let you know about the paid videos. It's not a paid channel, just certain videos are paid. That's what we're going to do in the future. Some will be free. I'll still do lives. I'll still do my SoundCloud as the evidence rolls in. The two new videos. One is we do a new magnetic experiment in it, and there are things also caught, and that's why I'm saying it's repeatable, because it was repeated from the first time, and I had another researcher do the experiment, not myself. I'm not being biased in the situation. So it is a repeatable test. We'll just have to see where that keeps going. And as far as the baby Bigfoot, to me, that's what I'm pretty sure that's what it is. You can see the game cam. There's really no wind, and then you can see the situation going on in the tree with a rapid motion. You know, but it is what it is. So I appreciate you guys. Dan, talk to you tomorrow. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Thanks, guys.